If you are new to this channel, make sure you subscribe, you support the channel. We have more information that we would like to share with you. The hybrid court for South Sudan established under chapter of the revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan and supported by the African Union as jurisdiction over individual responsible for genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crime committed in South Sudan since 15 December 2013. General Paul Nang Majuk, the Chief of the General Staff of the South Sudan People Defense Force, is alleged to bear criminal responsibility under the doctrine of command responsibility for acts committed by force under his effective authority and controlled during military operation conducted between 2025 and 2026 in Upper Nile, Jonglei, and Unity State. A report issued by the United Nations Commission on Human Rights in South Sudan, the United Nations Human Rights Office, and various international regional human rights organizations have documented widespread and systematic violation against civilian population during this operation. Factual allegation. According to this report, the following pattern of conduct are alleged. Number 1, incitement and inflammatory rhetoric. Senior military commander are alleged to have issued a statement during military operation in Jonglei and Upper Nile State calling for the elimination of all perceived opponents, including civilian and person hors de combat. It is alleged that such rhetoric included order to spare no one, which prosecutor argue constitutes incitement to commit mass atrocities and signal authorization for unlawful violence. General Nang is alleged to have publicly endorsed or failed to repudiate such rhetoric and to have mobilized communities along ethnic line during military campaign. Second, extrajudicial killing and targeting of civilians. The prosecution alleged that forces under the SSPDF command conducted deliberate attack against civilian population, including killing, torture, and destruction of villages in areas such as Nasser, Ulang, Akubo, Wat, Nitul, and Fangak. It is further alleged that military authorities failed to prevent or punish perpetrators. The defense maintained that military operations were directed solely against army groups, including the so-called White Army, and that civilian harm was incidental and not intentional. Sexual violence and gender-based crime. Investigations have documented allegations of widespread and systematic sexual violence, including gang rape, sexual slavery, and abduction of women and girls. These acts are alleged to have been committed by uniformed soldiers during organized operation and in areas under government control. Starvation and obstruction of humanitarian assistance. According to the report, the prosecution alleged that deliberate restriction on humanitarian access, destruction of food sources, and attack on infrastructure resulted in famine conditions in certain regions. The bombing of a medical facility operated by Medicine Sans Frontier in Olfangak in 2025 has been cited as an example of the alleged strategy of the population and denial of essential services. Scorched policies. A report described widespread burning of home, destruction of crop, and displacement of civilians These tactics are alleged to have been used to weaken opposition forces and to depopulate strategic areas. The defense argued that these measures were legitimate counter-insurgency operations necessary to restore order. The prosecution contended that official classification of certain counties as hostile or friendly created conditions for targeted violence and humanitarian blockades. It is argued that this policy disproportionately affected a specific ethnic group and may constitute evidence of genocidal intent. Participants shall rely on the statute of the Hybrid Court for South Sudan, customary international law, the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, the Genocidal Convention of 1948, international humanitarian law, and relevant jurisprudence from international criminal tribunals. Issue for determination. The court invites submission from both the prosecution and the defense on the following legal and factual issues. Issue number 1, jurisdiction and admissibility. Whether the Hybrid Court for South Sudan has jurisdiction over the alleged crime and whether the case is admissible in light of national proceeding, if any. Issue 2, command responsibility. Whether General Ponang Majuk exercised effective command and control over SSPDF forces and affiliated militia during the relevant period, whether he knew or had reason to know that these subordinates were committing or about to commit crime, whether he failed to take all necessary and reasonable measures to prevent or punish such act. Issue number 3, genocide. Whether the alleged act constitutes genocide under international law, whether there is sufficient evidence of specific intent or dollar specialists to destroy in whole or in part a protected group, whether inflammatory rhetoric, ethnic profiling, and pattern of conduct may establish genocidal intent. Issue number 4, crime against humanity, whether the alleged act form part of a widespread or a systematic attack against a civilian population, whether the act of murder, rape, sexual slavery, forced displacement, persecution, and starvation meet the legal threshold. Issue number 5, war crime. Whether the alleged conduct occurred in the context of a non-international army conflict, whether the act including attack against civilian, destruction of property, sexual violence, and attack on humanitarian facilities constitute war crime. Issue 6, incitement and hate speech. Whether public statement attributed to senior military leadership constitute direct and public incitement to commit genocide, ordering or aiding and abetting international crime. Issue number 7, defenses. Whether military necessity, self-defense, or lack intent may be invoked. Whether the accused can rely on mistaken targeting, proportionality, or lack of effective control. Issue 8, state responsibility and individual criminal liability. Whether the action of state agent may be attributed to the government. The relationship between state policy and individual criminal responsibility. The prosecution requests that the court confirm the charge of genocide, crime against humanity, and war crime. Find the accused criminally responsible under command responsibility, issue appropriate reparation and sentencing. The defense requests that the court dismiss the charge for lack of sufficient evidence, acquit the accused, Stanford International University Law Society, and University of Juba Law Student Associate. That is the message that we have for you. Subscribe for more update based on all this reporting.